Here we go. 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 I'm back at home in the home studio. My girl Dani is in the airport. She just landed. Y'all know she's the big corporate executive that works for the an athletic conference, and she's killing it. She's killing it. That's my girl. That is my girl. So we are live now. Um, and so my girl works for the GCAC, I think it's the Gulf Coast Atlantic Conference, right? And they're doing a volleyball championship down there. So I'm gonna have to hold it down today. While she's there getting it together. So y'all just gonna have to bear with me because um, I'm in the living room just chilling, and I just got out of football practice. So today, every day I wear like a different theme. So today's theme was I'm wearing my Crawford Athletics because we're in the playoffs this Thursday. So Thursday will mark our fourth year in our season, and we're in the playoffs. So we are the number 2 seed at Crawford Middle School. By the way, for those of y'all that are just now tuning in, my name is Coach Terri Bryant. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. This is the Hits and Heels podcast where we talk about all things sports, anything that's dealing with anything sports minded or whatever. I am a football coach. My co-host, Miss Dani, has her master's degree and in sports sociology, and she is also an administration for the GCAC conference, right? So we put this podcast together because we would just have some conversations about just sports in general because we were both coaching football. Yeah, you heard that right. I am a football coach. So me and my husband, Cisco Bryant, both coach football at Crawford Middle School. He is actually the one that gave me the opportunity to coach. So he's been coaching for like 28 something thousand years. He's been coaching, officiating football and baseball for years, right? And so when we met, one of the first things that we got out was the fact that I am a football fanatic, but I like all sports, but I really, really love football. And so what he did was he had an opportunity to coach football at the Crawford Middle School. And the reason why he was coaching middle school was because he stepped down from coaching high school, because when our son was a freshman in high school, he actually started. And at that time, my husband was still coaching at a local high school here. And he stepped down 2 weeks before the season started because he wanted to just strictly be a parent on the sideline and watch his son play. So he took a year off, and after a year, somehow the opportunity came up for him to be able to coach middle school. And he asked me what I thought about it. I thought it would be a great opportunity for it because I knew he was missing coaching. Plus, with coaching middle school, you don't have, watch a lot of film. You don't have the all year round commitment because you don't have the off-season training that you have with football. With football, as soon as the season is over, bam, you're right back into the weight room. Where middle school, not so much. So you don't have that much of a commitment. You're basically just starting in July and then you're done in November. And then all of our games are in Lexington. So we don't have to travel outside of the city. So we have like 11 middle schools here in Lexington. And so we just play each other. We don't play any teams outside of Lexington. So then that kind of made it convenient as well. So as we navigated through all that, that's how he got at Crawford Middle School. So when he was offered the position and he accepted, he came home and he told me, well, I made you my assistant head coach. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I will have to say is history from there. And that's how I became a coach. So now we're in our 4th season of coaching, and we're totally excited. Our first 2 years, we made it to the championship game. Last year we fell short. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bad call that pulled a touchdown back, that called a touchdown back. And that touchdown would have won us the game, but it got called back, and then we weren't able to convert after that. And so this year, we ended the season 8-0, undefeated. There's another team, we call them Alabama Leestown, that is absolutely talented. They're the best team in the league, and we're hoping to get past this game on Thursday so that we can see them in the championship game and be in our third championship game in 4 years. And so that is the goal. And so, and then Friday starts my son's postseason run for his state championship. And so we're looking forward to that. And so we're looking forward to his state championship run with Frederick Douglass High School. My son attends Frederick Douglass High School. We're hoping that they have their run with Frederick Douglass and win a state championship this year. They have the talent, they have everything in place in order to make that happen. And so, we're praying that it actually does. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about today, actually, I don't have a script at all. And so, but one of the things that I did want to bring up today was the fact that, this is a time of the year where it's a lot going on. So we actually have NFL football is going on. Okay, high school is wrapping up their regular season and they're going into the playoffs. Same with middle school. I think even the Parks and Rec teams are kind of wrapping up their seasons and they're going into their postseasons. Then college is still going on. It's still going on strong, and the NFL is still going on strong. But it's also the World Series, the baseball World Series is going on right now, and basketball has started for both the NBA and the NCAA. And so a lot of college teams are having their exhibition games right now. And in fact, Louisville lost the game to a D2 school the other day, and that was kind of shocking because Kenny Payne just became the head coach at Louisville, and Louisville, he used to be an assistant coach for a long time under Calipari at Kentucky. So I'm here in Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky fan. I love rooting for Kentucky. So does my family. My husband went to Kentucky. My son will be attending Kentucky and playing football. And so we're avid Kentucky fans. But I just wanted to bring a fact that right now is a really, really busy time for some of us sports fans because we got a lot going on, because we're just kind of just flipping back and forth on, on what's on TV, because you can be watching the NFL, NBA, NCAA, basketball, football, or the World Series is on. So there's a lot going on with that. So if you're a sports fan, this is one of the best times of the year because you really got a lot going on at one time. Okay, so now I kind of want to transition into the fact that I also coach a women's professional football team, and it is actually tackle football. And so I know it seems like I'm talking about the same stuff every week, but I'm just trying to tell y'all right now, y'all have no idea how excited I am about coaching women's tackle football, because it is something that we just don't have a lot of opportunity for it, right? And it's not powder puff and it's not flag football. It's actually tackle football. Matter of fact, the last 2 practices, it was scary because we've had like 2 players that have gotten concussions in practice because we actually hit practice. We have to practice hitting in order to get to prepare. So we have a scrimmage against Canada. The Canadian team is coming down on November the 12th in Jeffersontown, Indiana. It's at 7:00. Now I was looking at the calendar, and Kentucky plays at 12 that day. So there'll be a Kentucky game at 12, and then I'm not sure if Louisville's playing. So for the people that are here that are local, you should be able to catch the Kentucky game. get a chance to relax, and then hit the road and drive to Jeffersonville or Jeffersontown. I don't know. It'll be on my main page to catch that game live and be able to see some real women's tackle football going on. So I want to just address some things in the sports world that I think that probably just needs to be addressed. And I think one of those things was dealing with when you're ending your when you're at the end of like your playing career, like what does that mean? Now, if we lose on Thursday, we're not getting ready to lose on Thursday. So if we lose on Thursday, that is going to probably be one of the last times a lot of our players are going to be able to play football. Now, one of the things about football that makes it a little bit more emotional than other sports is you don't have an opportunity to go just randomly someplace and put on some pads and a helmet to play. There aren't any parks, there aren't any adult recreational leagues for football. There aren't just a pickup game of there's a pickup game of football there maybe, but you're not putting on full gear to be able to play. And that actually just makes a difference. And that's very a psychological thing with I think with putting up your cleats and with when you get to the end of your football career. And I think that that's one thing that we've been trying to explain to our kids on maximizing the opportunity that they have right now, because they just might not have another opportunity to be able to play again. I played basketball, but I can go play basketball, pick up basketball wherever at a gym with whoever. It's easy. I ran track. Well, if I want to participate in a 5K or a 3K, or I just want to run recreationally, I might not be doing sprints, anything like that, but to just go run, you still have an opportunity to do that. If I played tennis, I can still go play tennis, even, just recreationally, just go play. And there are volleyball leagues and and softball leagues. Now, you might not be able to play baseball, because it's a little bit more difficult to maybe play baseball recreationally when you're done. So, baseball might be the number 2 sport that once it's over, it's over. If you're a swimmer, you can always go swim. Maybe you can't, nobody's playing lacrosse. Nobody's playing lacrosse recreationally, but you can. Like you can. It's you can go put the gear on and get the little stick or whatever and probably go out and play if there's enough people that just wants to play. But football, once it's over, because you're not going to be able to play that again. And I think that's been one of the more difficult things to get kids to understand, that love the game but may not have the talent enough to go to the next level, because every step is it gets less and less. I think on the Parks and Rec level, there might be 10 million kids. I don't know what the number is, millions of kids, but then that number dwindles down when it gets to the middle school level on how many, and then it gets even smaller when it gets to the high school level, and then it gets even smaller when it gets to the college level, and then it definitely gets smaller when it gets to the NFL level, right? You really have to become put yourself in a position to be an elite football player in order to keep going to the next levels. So I was having a conversation with one of my players today. I had to take him home, and one of those conversations involved the fact that he recognized the fact that he wasn't getting a lot of playing time because he wasn't as fast and as athletic as maybe some of the other players. But one of the things that I told him was, you know, we challenge all of our kids to do like 25 push-ups in the morning and 25 push-ups before they go to bed, right? So we've been preaching that since July. And you can just tell those kids that have not did that. They're not did they haven't done that. Um, I don't think I can count maybe even one kid that has actually done it. So I can't really say that there's one or two kids that really stand out. But what that does is it shows me the mindset of the kids that want it. That's why there's only a small number of kids that do that. Our son has done that since I can remember. He always gets his push-ups in. He does the extra stuff. He has a ladder in the garage that he'll go pull out. He'll go take it out in the backyard and he'll work on his footwork. He will borrow the key to the gym, and because we have a 24-hour access to our gym that we use, and he'll borrow the key and he'll go and work out even after he's practiced, after he's done his homework, after he's done everything. And he might have already did a full practice and maybe even worked out at school. He'll still come home and put in the extra work. And that's one of the things that a lot of parents are or kids that are lacking is their work ethic doesn't match what their expectation is. And so they're looking at players like my son, and they're thinking that he's lucky because his parents are coaches. And so he's got this edge because they know something that no, he puts in the work. He watches film when he's home. He doesn't spend a lot of time on video games and just watching TV just randomly. Most of the time, our TV doesn't come on unless it's a game. We don't have Netflix and Hulu, and we don't even have an Amazon Prime account because we don't watch it. We don't watch TV. I don't shop like that. I have my own online store, so there's no need for me to have to pay for the Amazon because I can get discounts through my own store. And so one of the things that I love talking to parents about is preparing their athletes to be an elite athlete. How, what does that entail? But first of all, they have to show you that they're committed. They have to show you that committed. If you're having to if they know that they got practice at 6:00 in the morning and you're the one that's having to wake them up, or you wake them up and they done turned over and you got to go nudge them again and coerce them to go to practice, they don't want it. I'm not getting ready to waste my time with a child that doesn't want it. Now there's a thin line between encouragement and kind of motivating and pushing them a little bit, and just to kind of help them out a little bit. But it shouldn't take all that. They should have to want it for themselves. Otherwise, why are they doing it? Are they just doing it to hang out with their friends because it's a popularity contest? They like the attention that they get from the girls or other people because they're an athlete and who they hang around. You got to find out that reason why they're doing what they're doing. And again, a why takes, you could do that with everything in life. What is your why on why you do things? One of the reasons why I like sports period is because sports saved my life. It was a lifeline for me when I was younger and going through, what we go through as an adolescent. And sometimes, you just have a childhood that's traumatic and you need a coping mechanism. And sports to me was my coping mechanism to be able to, just get through some of those rough times when as a adolescent or as a teenager. Now, so, I just don't want to harp on that much, but I do want to talk about how disappointed I was that Kentucky lost. on this past Saturday. It was like so disappointing, right? And this is what I mean. This is I don't get it. I'm not judging or whatever, but so I'm just going to do this whole subject change about Kentucky. I'm salty I am about Kentucky because first of all, Tennessee had just beat Alabama. We all know that, right? And so Alabama got upset by Tennessee. Tennessee, looked good against Alabama. Okay, so Kentucky had 2 weeks because it was their bye week to prepare for Tennessee, right? So I don't know why there should have been a watch, like everybody should have been watching that game together. Because Nick Saban is the best coach ever, right? So I'm looking at Nick Saban on what he did correctly and where he messed up at, or where the team messed up at, so that we don't make those same mistakes. So how come the guy that the wide receiver, how come they're wide open? Like this dude scored 5 touchdowns in the Alabama game, and he's still wide open in the Kentucky game. Oh my God, that just didn't make any sense to me. So either we didn't watch film, or we were being undisciplined, or we weren't prepared for it, and that just totally just floored me, right? But hats off to Tennessee for knocking out the number 1 team, Alabama, because everybody knows that Nick Saban is the GOAT. Alabama is the standard for FBS football, and that's it. And so let's transition into FBS football. So I guess Jackson State is ranked number 7. So Coach Deion Sanders is they just beat Southern this past weekend, and that took them to 7-0, I believe. And game day was there, and so he got a lot of publicity for HBCUs through the game day, because game day was actually there on campus, and they filmed their broadcast there at Jackson State. So they got to experience the whole HBCU. The whole HBCU experience with the Battle of the Bands, and just how how a whole bunch of Black people just do things a little bit differently than they do at Power 5 schools, right? Or PWIs is what we call them. PWI is a primarily white institution, for those that don't know. And that's not being racist. That's just a reality, because majority of most Power 5 schools are primarily white institutions. And so that's the reason why they call them HBCUs. They're historically Black colleges, right? And so Dani went to HBCU. She went to Hampton, and she's cold about and she's cold about it. I mean, just I love how she's embraced the HBCU and gives people knowledge about the difference between HBCU. She was also at Kentucky State working at one time, and now she's with the a predominantly Black conference, athletic conference, and so they're doing volleyball in the volleyball championships right now, and I'm kind of jealous. I wish I can go, because I love me some volleyball. So let's talk about. I'm gonna transition again. Forgive me. I know I just seem like I'm just rambling, because this was just totally unexpected. Because normally I'll have Dani give you an educational moment, and she'll drop some knowledge about some things that are really, really instrumental in what we need to, just what we need to learn as far as some of the sociological and psychological parts of the athletic program. And so I'm gonna make sure that when we get her back on, that she will go in depth about what she does and the impact and the background with her master's and how all that impacts things. Okay. So let's transition into the recruiting process. Okay. I love being able to explain, to be a resource to parents about the recruiting process. Okay. One of the first things that you got to do, that I would do if I was right now starting in the recruiting process, right, is I would go to ncaa.org, I believe. Okay. And it talks about, it talks about the recruiting process and how that, how that works. Some of the things that you have to do at first. It kind of almost starts you a step-by-step process. It talks about the signing up for the eligibility center, which is key. Because there's been lots of people that are, they want to go and participate in athletics on the college level, but they haven't made themselves eligible by going through the eligibility center. What that does is it gives a flag for like the guidance counselors and stuff, and the college. They all kind of go into cahoots. They make sure that you got all your prerequisites, all your academics and stuff is on point, and your grades. Excuse me. It talks about your grades and things like that, so that the colleges know that you're eligible to be a student athlete at the college level. Okay. Now, once you've done that, and some colleges still require you to take the SAT, ACT, depending on where you're at. I think because of COVID, there was a lot of waivers because of the SAT and ACT. But now that COVID is about over, I don't know if they're going back to the test or not. So you have to do your homework on that. Okay. The second thing that I would do after checking that eligibility, the ncaa.org and the whole eligibility part of it, okay, is create a social media account, especially on Twitter, for your athlete. Okay. As a parent, even though they're in high school, you got to make sure that you're monitoring their social media. Okay. Their social media can make or break them being recruited. And guess what, parent? Schools recruit the whole family. And so you can't have no ratchetness on your social media page either. And I know that might sound harsh, but if you're one of them that like to cuss, or you're into the whole political realm, or maybe not so much the religious stuff, people can kind of get let you get away with with the Bible thumping stuff, right? Nothing, that's usually not frowned upon. But the ratchetness, and some of the silly stuff, could really hurt your child's recruiting process. Another thing that I want to discuss is, they have what is called the NIL now, the name, image, and likeness. So now your child has the opportunity to get paid. Okay. That does not mean pay to play. Okay. A lot of people think that it is. No, it doesn't. Pay to play is still illegal. Okay. Pay to play, what that means is a college coach cannot say, well, I'll offer you $1 million if you come to my school. No, that's illegal. Okay. You can't do that. Now, are they able to, is there opportunity for to get paid on your name, image, and likeness? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you got to really, really be careful of that. It draws the line where you're still not getting, where it's still not, you're going to come here because as a school, we're offering you this $1 million so that you could play. So come here. That's illegal. That's still illegal, and you could still lose your eligibility, or lose some type of lose your offer or whatever like that. Should the NCAA find out that that is the way things happen, and you could just lose everything, and that school can be ineligible for and get fined and all that type of stuff. So you really got to be careful with the whole name, image, and likeness. I absolutely love the fact for athletes to be able to get paid. I love it. I do. I absolutely love the fact that they can get paid now. I think it's way, way long overdue for them to be able to get paid. And so hold on 1 second. My husband's coming out of the room. You can hear him, right? Yeah. Okay. And so he still got the bedroom open. And so one of the things that I think that I loved was we had the opportunity of going on an official visit. So there's a difference between official visit and an unofficial visit. There's a difference between an offer that's committable, and sometimes they're not committable. So you got to make sure that you know that if your child gets an offer to get a scholarship, that it's a committable offer, and not just the offer just to say that we gave you an offer. Okay. Let me tell y'all how offers work. Okay. Let's say I'm going to use the University of Kentucky. Okay. The University of Kentucky needs 3 defensive backs. Okay. Their Coach Morrow is going to maybe offer 10 defensive backs. Okay. And those, and there might be 2 of them that they really, 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 really want. Right. So they might offer, 5 of those, and they might not necessarily be committable, but they are only committable is if those other, the 2 that they really, really want, decide that they don't want to, they absolutely are not going to come to the University of Kentucky. Right. So this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be careful with holding out and shopping around and entertaining all of these offers. Okay. If you know that the University of Kentucky is the school that you want to go to, okay, then you make sure that you communicate to them that that's where you want to go. They want a commitment as soon as possible. As long as you do not verbally commit to them, they're thinking you're still entertaining, and they're going to continue to entertain other players, because they have a fulfillment. And I mean, it's still a business. They have to fulfill their roster requirements. Okay. So my son ended up being like the number one, the first commitment for the class of 2023. Okay. And so as soon as he decided he wanted to commit, he went on ahead and committed. A lot of people were like, well, why would you go ahead and commit so early? Well, that was his dream school. That's where he wanted to go. Kentucky made it known that they wanted him as well. So he went on ahead and committed. Okay. No, for number one, because we know that there are lots of other players, that are good too. The DB position, safety position is a dime a dozen. Skill positions are a dime a dozen. Okay. Especially if you're in the SEC or the skill position is a dime a dozen. You got to be a dog in order to be able to play in the SEC as a skilled player, because there are way more skilled players than there are any other position. Right? Now, if you're an offensive lineman, I think that offensive linemen have the best opportunity of getting recruited, because you can't do anything if you can't protect your quarterback. So if your child is looking at a certain position, of course, if they're a quarterback, they got to be a dog and they got to be accurate. Okay. Wide receiver, they got to have some good hands. They got to have speed. and same with the DB. But if you're an offensive lineman and you have height and size, you can tell that, if you I think that even at the DB range, the SEC has a minimum. I think as a DB, I think you got to be at least 6 foot, 6'1". I think if you're under 6 foot, I don't think they really look at you in the SEC. I'm just saying. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was one of the things that we talked about with one of the coaches. They were looking at when they were looking at the demographics of what their ideal athlete looked like. Those were some of the parameters. So if you weren't 6 foot, you're almost automatically not taken out. Are there some players that are 6? Yes, they have to be really, really, really off the charts in certain positions to be under 6 foot. Like could be a running back or something like that, right? They may not necessarily be at 6 foot. But I think at the DB, I think they were looking at to be at least 6 foot. Okay. So then when you're looking at that and you're looking at your dream school, on the athletics website, there's a questionnaire that you could submit. So you can go to that questionnaire and let the school know, the coaches know. It's usually a recruiting coordinator, and they have admins that take care of all of that stuff, right? And so if you're interested in a school, go and fill out their questionnaire. Once you fill out their questionnaire, I would go on my social media, and then I would follow that coach, and then I would engage on their social media. If they're active on social media, I would definitely be engaging in their page, because I would definitely be letting them know that I'm following them, and then I'm hoping that I would get a follow back. Now, on Twitter, if you get a follow back, now you have the opportunity to tag them in a post. Or if say you had a great game, or you have a video or something like that you want to highlight, then now if that's the school you want to go to, and that's the coach that you want to do, then I don't think that's wrong for you to tag that coach so that he can see you, because you got to, as a athlete, you're selling yourself to the school, because they got to see whether or not you're fit for them, but then you also have to be a fit. They have to be a fit for you. If you have a certain major, and you know that's what you want to do, then why would you? There would be no reason for you to submit any type of questionnaire to a school that doesn't particularly have that major. So a lot of times you have to really do your homework, and I would do like a top 10. I would find 10 schools. If I was an athlete, 10 schools, and I would be like, okay, I would pull out a map, and then first of all, I would find out what is the longest distance that I would want to go away from home. Okay. It might be an hour. It might be 2 hours. It might be 4 hours. It might be 8 hours, 12 hours. It might be unlimited. You could care less how long you want to go. So if you live in New York and you don't have a problem going to school in California, and vice versa, that might not be an issue for you. Okay. Now, I know, based off of my relationship with coaches, that one of the biggest issues with the portal is a lot of kids get homesick. They get away from home, and then they realize that they're missing their support system. And so that is just something that you and your child really need to talk about and have a conversation about, as, okay, when you're looking at your offers, or when you're looking at your opportunity to play, how far is reasonable? Because if I'm the parent that I am, I'm wanting to support you. So I'm wanting to be at games. I'm wanting to come support you. Let me tell y'all something. It does not make sense. If you're one of those parents and you know that you're supported, and your athlete wants to go someplace in Egypt to play, the purpose of the scholarship is to get college paid for free. But if you're spending thousands of dollars every week flying, renting in hotels, renting cars, eating out, and you're spending a fortune, that beat the whole purpose of getting a free education, because now you just still spent the money that you could have spent on them going to school someplace locally, and you could have just paid cash for it as opposed to doing all that. I don't know if that's going to make sense to anybody or not, right? So now, if your child has an offer, and the only offer on the, maybe it might be the only one or two offers, and the best offer out of that, and you have to travel, it is what it is. Then you just gonna have to travel, because that was the only offer, and that was the best thing that we got going on. We got to take it. Okay, free is free. This was the only offer you got, the only offer for opportunity for to still play football and go to college and get a free education. Then we got to take the offer. Okay, but what I'm saying is that if you have multiple offers, if you're an elite athlete and you have multiple offers, have your child take into consideration, because they think they're grown and they think that they know what they want. They know what they want, right? Is take highly into consideration of how far away from home that they feel like is reasonable, because we're not trying to be spending all that money, especially if you want mama to still be able to support you. Because if you go someplace out in Egypt, baby, I might hit homecoming. I might hit, I'm gonna pick 2-3 games, but I ain't coming to all of them, because I'm not getting ready to spend on that money to come support you. And you better hope that you on TV. But I'll be happy to watch you on TV, or I'll buy a streaming service or whatever, like extra. That's not going to cost me thousands of dollars on plane tickets and hotels to support you, because the whole purpose of college, let's be honest, is to get a free education. And if you have an opportunity to play at the next level, and your child is gifted enough to play at the next level, to go to college for free on scholarship, then I would definitely take advantage of that. Right? Okay. So let's recap. Okay. Go to the eligibility center, the whole recruiting process, the eligibility center. Okay. NCAA.org. Okay. Get the information on what does it take to become a student athlete. Okay. Oh, I missed the most important thing. It's called a student athlete for a reason. Okay. Now, if you have a child that's not getting offers, let's say their stats are off the charts, they're athletic, they're doing everything right, they got size, they got speed, everything's going right, and they don't have no offers, it is probably because their grades are not good enough. And you as a parent, it's your fault that their grades are not good enough, because that means you did not hold them accountable. They are children. They're going to get away with what they are allowed to get away with. And if you don't set high expectations for your child to get good grades, then you're setting them up for failure, especially if they are athletic. Okay? Because regardless, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how good they are. They got to get them grades, and they got to have good grades. Now, if they don't have the grades, There are still options. So now you're looking at going to a junior college. Now you're looking at maybe going, not maybe, your child might be maybe good enough to go to a Power 5 school, but now they're going to have to resort to a NAIA school or someplace else where the GPA is a little bit more relaxed and they can get into it again, like a junior college, right? And they might have to go to junior college route before going to the next level. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no shame in nobody's game. Okay. Now, junior college route might be the best route for some people, so that you can kind of fill it out a little bit. You got the smaller classroom settings. The school is not as big and not as intimidating, and you can still, you can kind of go get your feet wet and go from there. Now, if you're a baseball player, junior college is the way to go. And let me tell you why. Because when junior college with baseball, most baseball offers are not a full ride. Most of them are partial. Matter of fact, if you're not throwing a 95 mile an hour fastball, you're probably not getting ready to get a full ride in baseball. It's going to be a partial scholarship, right? And so because it's not a partial scholarship, now you got to have the academics and something else in order to supplement to make up the difference. So again, that's why you got to have them grades. Okay. So that you can get the academic scholarship to make up the difference in the event that you don't get the full ride. Okay. Now, let me tell you something else about the junior college level. The junior college is a full ride. So if you go to junior college, you don't have to worry about it. It's a full ride. It's the only one, junior college for baseball. Okay, you get that one for free. Okay, now, so grades, you got to get the grades. Okay, you got to make sure that they have the work ethic. Grades, work ethic, check the eligibility center, social media account. Make sure you scrub their social media and make sure that you don't have no ratchetness on their social media and they don't have any, and you don't have any on yours. So most coaches are on Twitter. They like to keep things simple. Okay. There's not a whole lot. I don't see a whole lot of coaches on Facebook. There may be some on Instagram, but for the recruiting process, Twitter. Okay. Let me tell you something about your Twitter account. Make sure you get their name in your name. Like, get something so that they know who you are. And then make sure your profile is set up so that if a college coach does happen to see a video, somebody might tweet you, because you never know when you might go viral. Somebody might retweet you and they retweeted and retweeted and retweeted. And next thing you know, you made this outstanding play or catch or something. And now people are just tweeting you all over the place, right? So, but make sure that all your contact information, make sure your huddle is on there. Make sure your full name is on there. A lot of people like to see, your class, maybe your height and your weight update. And so that they can kind of see who, just a quick bio of who you are. And then they can see you. If you got like a highlight video, there's you can pin like one tweet at the top. That might be an introduction video, or it might be just something that a highlight reel or something like that. And I would do that. That way, as soon as they go to your page and they check out your profile, that's one of the first things that they see. And now they're not having to search through to see who you are. Okay. I think that might be it. Is that it? I think that's it. I'm just saying, here's another free 99 domain name. So the holidays are coming up. right? I don't care how old your child is, okay? Go and buy their domain name right now. Right now. Let me tell you why. Because they're going to become a professional in something. Something. Okay? Let's say they don't become a professional in don't become an athlete. Okay? And they decide they want to be a dentist or a lawyer or I don't know, a teacher or something like that. Something where they need a social media presence, somewhere where they may need a website, something that may require them, to have to market themselves. Well, now, okay, you won't have to pay $10,000 for their domain name, or they don't have to come up with some other domain name, right? Especially if they have a unique name. Okay, let me tell you why. So there is big business in selling domain names. So what happens is there are people out there where all they do is look for who's going to be the next superstar. Okay? So let's say the next superstar is getting ready to be Ty Bryant out of Lexington, Kentucky, and all we hearing about is Ty Bryant. Well, guess what they do? They will go to GoDaddy or whoever and buy that domain name. It's like real estate. Like digital real estate is like the new, like buying a house, right? Because it appreciates in value and it's worth something, especially to someone that ends up being famous or becomes a professional in something. And so now when you want to go, if I want to go buy Ty Bryant's domain name, it's going to cost me about $5,000 to $10,000 to buy it. When I could have bought it for $25 for the year and maybe some little extra stuff. So I'm gonna say maybe between $25 and $75 for the whole year, as opposed to having to spend thousands of dollars of buying a domain name for the child. Now, again, with NIL, okay, so now if your child decides, now with NIL, now you can market yourself. So now if you decide, let's say you decide to go get a t-shirt line and you go get some type of a t-shirt made and hats and hoodies and jerseys and stuff like that. Well, now you have their domain name to be able to market all that on their social media because they're on Twitter now. And so now they're building up their social media accounts. I definitely recommend TikTok and Instagram, right? So now if they built up those, now you could put their website, tybryant.com, yourname.com on there, and now you're able to market that. And now that becomes an income source for your child for the rest of their freaking life, right? And then if they decide it, and once that's over and they transition into whatever their career is going to be, all you got to do is go and transition that change that domain name to forward it to something else or create a new website or whatever like that. But now you still have the domain name. Okay, free 99. I should be charging y'all for this information, right? And so so that's that. So we're talking about the whole recruiting, just the recruiting process. I mean, you're going to enjoy the official visit. Again, official visit is when they fly you in and they pay for everything. An unofficial visit is you're going to go visit, but you're paying your own way. You're paying your hotel. You're paying, you buying your own food, but stuff like that. But on an official visit, they pick up the tab on everything. They paying for everything, So when we went on our official visit, they picked us up in a car. We went into the hotel. We valet parked our car. They drove us everywhere. We're eating at Jeff Ruby. We're hanging out at the coach's house. we're hanging, they take us around campus, they're feeding us every freaking 5 minutes. And it was an absolute blast. It was one of the most, probably one of my top 5 experiences in my whole life is an official visit, because they laid out the red carpet for us, and treated us like freaking royalty, because we were coming to the University of Kentucky. Now, there were players there. Now, we were committed, but there were other players that were not committed. And so, we got to know some of them. And of course, we, because we knew we were coming, we was helping with the recruiting process. So we was like, yeah, we live here. So, we can hang out. We'll show you who we tailgate. This is a great opportunity. Yeah, come here. So we was helping to recruit. And let me tell you something, we had a ball. We had an absolute ball. So, so that's that. So listen, I almost got through this whole day by myself, and y'all just had to hear me just talking and rambling and stuff this whole time. So, we're at 56 minutes. So we're at our time, and I'm getting ready to wrap it up because, I've been yawning. I'm tired. My schedule starts at 4:30 in the morning. It was 4, but I've been still in an extra 30 minutes. So 4:30 in the morning, I'm yawning because I'm tired. So then I go to work all day. I get off of work. I go straight to football practice. After football practice, then I do whatever whatever I got to do. And then on Tuesdays at 9 is when we start our podcast. So when me and Dani was looking at our schedules, this is the only time that we have that's available. Because let me tell you why. Because Monday nights is Monday Night Football. Wednesday, I had games. We have games on Wednesday and Thursday. So I never know when we have games. So it was either Wednesdays or Thursdays we would have games. So that's why we couldn't do it on those nights. Then Friday nights is high school games. Saturday, thanks, Dani. You're so sweet. She's so sweet. Friday nights, my son plays. It's high school football. Saturday, college football. And then Sunday is in NFL all day, right? And did y'all notice that they've been having NFL games like at 9? They've been starting at 9:30 instead of 1 o'clock. So they've been doing had a couple of games in London. So when they play in London, that game comes on like at 9:30 in the morning. So if you're a church person, it's a wrap for you. Because I'm catching a replay or something or whatever, and because I'm watching football from 9:30 in the morning until the nighttime, right? So anyway, so I am done. I am done. So we are wrapping this up. Dani gave me some, has already, I think, logged off. And so I'm hoping that she will log me off. Miss Dani. All right, guys. I love y'all. Y'all have a good one. And we will see you next Tuesday. Oh, there she is.
Hey. You did great.
Me on here by myself, just rambling.
But you did great.
Just rambling.
You held it down for us. I appreciate you.
Of course.
I'm out here in New Orleans.
Where you at? New Orleans?
Yep.
Ooh, one of my BFFs lives in New Orleans.
Oh, you drink a margarita big as your head.
Yes.
Oh my God!
We just had a margarita that was literally the size of my head.
Like I bet it was. The food there is unbelievable. Oh my gosh! Oh my God!
I'm like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah. Oh my God, the food is there is unbelievable. Yeah,
A
you're gonna
full
love
day
that.
of traveling, and then we went straight to get something to eat. And now we're about to
Williams Boulevard.
head to the hotel. I'm about to lay it down, sister. I'm tired.
Girl, but see, I was on here yawning.
Listen, you know,
I am
you get it.
tired.
Your day starts at 4:30,
Yes.
and I'm usually up at 5. I can't sleep in anymore, so I'm usually up, you know, trying to get out of bed, stretch and everything.
Use the right lane to
5:30 in the morning.
I-10 East toward New Orleans.
And so by
Use the left
6 o'clock
lane
at night, I'm ready to shut it down.
Right.
Like
When
6
I get
o'clock,
out of practice, I'm done. Yeah.
yeah, I got my pajamas on. Like,
Yeah.
you know. So but it's been good. So I'm down here, and I don't know, I think I'm pretty sure you mentioned it. I'm down here in New Orleans. We've got the GCAC Volleyball Championship happening here. In the boot state. So it's gonna be Friday through Sunday is the actual competition. The volleyball matches are Friday through Sunday. Championship matches Sunday afternoon. But you know, I'm most excited for media day. Media day is time where we get to pull in our student athletes and our coaches, and we interview them for like 30 minutes. Every
Oh,
single school
every
gets
single
interviewed.
school. Oh, that's
Every
good.
single school gets interviewed. So this is new. This is new for our conference.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that's something
So
you started.
I didn't. I'm
That's
not gonna
something,
say
yeah,
I
you
started
did.
it.
You started it. You started
Listen,
it.
my coworker.
You
Look,
started it.
this is Kelly. This is our
Hey,
COO.
Kelly.
Hi,
Hey,
Terri. Yeah, I know who you are. I didn't heard about you, all that kind of stuff.
So okay, so he's saying I started it, so I gotta
I
take
know you
credit.
started.
Yeah. So this is I will say that this is definitely my baby, and I
Yes.
love it because I still get to be behind the scenes. Like,
Yes.
I'm not the one doing the interview.
Because you've been doing all the graphics too, aren't they? Because the graphics
Yeah.
have been off the chain too. Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're
Yes.
doing the graphics in house.
Yeah.
I have an amazing digital content coordinator. Her name is
Okay,
Alex
good.
Williams, and she just graduated from Howard. I'm not holding that against her. You know, I'm a Hampton grad, so I don't hold the Howard graduation. You know, I don't hold that against her. But I do. She's amazing. She is on it, and so it's been amazing to see our working relationship. And so what I try to do is, I remember when I was an intern and how people like Shara White and Patricia Porter Mayfield, and back then when I was in school, she was Miss Harvey. So now she's married. She's got two beautiful boys, and so her and Monique AJ Smith, you know, we're in the group in chat in the garden with her. Seeds of empowerment, and but then I had some awesome Black men that helped me as well. Eric Moore. I just found out that he passed away, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart because I remember when I started at Clark Atlanta, he gave me so much, just so much, you know, not just information and details and things like that, but he really, really helped me develop into a strong communicator. LeCount Conaway was one of my mentors. He passed away years ago, and I remember when he passed away, I was devastated. You know, that was like, he was like a dad to me. He was like a father to me. And I remember when he passed, one of the last conversations I had with him, it was I was having an issue with someone, and he said, "You're doing the right thing. Be confident." And I was just like, "Dang, like, okay." And I said, but, and he said, there are no buts.
Okay.
And he said, I trained you better than this.
Oh, wow.
And just because you're a Black woman doesn't mean that you're any less than anyone else.
Mm.
And so having people like that poured into me as an intern, like a student intern. You know what I'm saying? In my first year as a sports information director, having people like that poured into me on a regular basis. So when I got the role at the GCAC, I was like, when I found out I had somebody that was working with me, it was like, I have to make sure that I'm giving her everything that was given to me. Plus
Absolutely.
And when I tell you, she has been incredible. She wants to be a sideline reporter. And
You hear Cisco in the background?
Hey, Cisco. What he talking about? What he say?
I'm allowed to talk when y'all on the air. I'll come out of the room.
What he say?
He said he's not allowed to talk or come out the room. But he comes out and makes all that noise anyway.
That big old house, y'all got y'all got a Jesus house. Y'all got a Jesus house. Y'all got rooms. In my father's house, there are many rooms.
Well, I guess I need to start going upstairs so he don't feel like he's confined while I'm on air.
I didn't say all that. All I'm saying is that's husband abuse.
Speech.
Oh, Cisco, stop it.
Call the hotline.
So what you need to do is come on in the room and hop on this podcast with us. That's what you need.
Like he let me do it. I told him I was doing it by myself. He didn't come out. He could have came out and did it with me today.
He sure could have. What's wrong with you, Cisco?
Okay. Sound like Jerry Playboy. The reason why is because I enjoy letting her do her, and I just have a hard time of. I mean this, taking her shadow. I mean, she's always been the wing underneath my wings, and it's just nice for me to.
I hear you, Bette Midler.
How can you put a butt behind that?
He didn't say butt. He said Bette Midler.
Oh, Bette Midler.
Bette
Midler. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that sang
that song.
On I-10 East toward New Orleans.
Well, I mean that. It's not a Hallmark moment. It's a fact. And just cool that, she knows this stuff, and I just want her to go ahead and do it. Just do you. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So how are you doing? I heard you was on the plane flying from Egypt to Canada.
Yeah, you said from Egypt. Listen, I'm trying to make my way back to the motherland. But no, yeah, I've been on a plane all day, so now my belly is full, and I'm about to. Y'all got me for a good. How much longer we have? Look, y'all got 7 minutes before I get to this hotel and go to sleep. I've been at the airport since 12:30 this afternoon. I've been on 2 planes that were packed.
Wow.
I'm talking like no space, no air. Like if you speak, you feel in the other person's breath. I mean, airplanes were packed tonight, and we got off of that plane. We took the crazy thing about New Orleans is that it's like what, Kelly, a 30-minute drive, 20 to 25 minutes from the airport to where the rentals are.
What?
Yes, they take you in a shuttle bus, like a public transportation size bus.
Dang.
To the rental car place is like 20-25 minutes away from the airport.
Wow.
Now, listen, we got off the bus and I was looking around. I'm like, oh dang, this is not the hotel. I forgot we still gotta go to the hotel.
Oh, so my goodness. So how far from the rental car to the hotel?
No, we went to the rental car place, and then it was like, well, we gotta eat. So we stopped at this Mexican place, Don Jose's. Ate something. I done had me a margarita that was as big as my head. So if I'm talking crazy, I apologize. So y'all only got about 5 good minutes left in me before I'm talking to Jesus in my sleep,
Right.
watching the back side of my eyelids. But no, I'm really excited. Like I was saying, I can't wait to talk about some of the great things that the GCAC is doing and some of the initiatives that we have going on. You know, once we're able to release the things that we're doing, you know, I'm gonna be up here talking my smack. I'm gonna be like,
can't wait.
The female Deion Sanders.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Up here talking my smack. But no, all really good things. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that this is the first time that the GCAC has had a Black woman as the commissioner.
In 2 miles.
And so when we talk about, you know, we look at our podcast and we look at the things that we're talking about and how we're elevating stories of Black women in sports, like, this is it. We got to get her on our podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
We got to talk to her about what it is, not only what it is like, but how you go from being interim director for 2 years, and in your 3rd year, you pitch to the president and say, look here,
I done did the job for 2 years. What's up, bro?
I've done the job for 2 years. I've taken the conference from here, from there to here. Oh, I'm sorry. We're passing by. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't know. I don't think I can turn my camera around. Hold on. Let me.
You must be passing by the dome.
We're actually passing by. This is Xavier University.
Xavier University.
I know y'all can't see it. I don't even know why I turned my camera around. It's so dark out here. But I think that when we talk about elevating stories of women in athletics, we have to begin to tell stories that are relative and inspiring. And so when we look at Dr. Keeker Barnes, we look at where she started. She's a Louisiana woman. She was born and raised in Louisiana. And to see her journey and how she has become probably the most respected and innovative Black woman administrator in college athletics. And I'm not saying that because I worked with her. You know, I'm saying that because I've seen her journey. I told her when she hired me, I said, I've been stalking you on social media.
Now, Fisk is in y'all's conference, right? Fisk is in y'all's conference?
Yeah, Fisk is in our conference.
Yeah. Tell her I want a football coaching job at Fisk.
Listen, come on down. It's funny because we're actually not a football conference. We don't sponsor football as a conference.
Oh, dang. What sports y'all got?
So it's basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, cross country, track and field, indoor, outdoor track and field.
Use the left lane to keep left onto US 90 East.
So we have all the sports that you've coached except for football. So you can still come on down. Come on and coach with us.
Man.
But
I love coaching track. I do.
I know you do. We're gonna get you down at let me not say no schools' names because that would be bad business. We're gonna get you in our conference though. I've got it. So in daylight and when I have my glasses have fallen on the floor in the truck that we're in. Mm-hmm. But we're passing by. That's the Superdome?
Yes. The Superdome?
We're passing by the Superdome. You see that?
Yeah, the Superdome.
That's the Superdome. So listen, they have a game here Monday night.
NBA.
No, Monday
Oh,
Night
football.
Football.
Who they play? Who
Saints.
the Saints play?
I don't care who they play. All I
It
know
don't
is
matter.
that,
You need to go. Let me know if
I'm
you need to
trying.
get tickets. I got a friend down there that could probably get you tickets if you can't get them.
Listen, are you flying down? You gonna fly down? You gonna fly down? Come on, Terry. Right. Listen, Kelly said I got a room and everything. You don't even have to pay for a room.
I ain't gotta pay for a room anyway because I got my people down there. But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, I got a hotel room.
I know. Okay, so who they play? It don't matter who they play.
The Bears? Do they play the Bears? I might be making it. All I know is that the Saints
If they
play
playing the
on
Bears,
Monday night.
I'm on my way.
And I don't have any commitments on Monday night because championship day is Sunday. Monday, I'm watching football, hopefully inside of the Superdome.
Oh my God. I hope you get to go.
Listen.
You see how close you stay to the Superdome? It's like 3 blocks.
I hope you get to go.
Go past this.
I'm like
then at
over
next
the
one,
moon.
Turn right.
I'm about to go.
I bet. I bet. And you need to go
Like
look to see whether or not there's an
now.
NBA game on. See if there's an NBA game too. See if you can catch an NBA game too.
See, you trying to spend all my little paycheck. But listen, no, I'm serious. So this is one of the things that growing up we used to do as a family. We would literally go on vacation and we would make sure that we planned a visit to whatever sports facilities are in the area. So sports is in me. Like I don't belong anywhere else.
Well, both of your parents coached.
My parents coached. My parents played.
Yeah.
Like my mom was a competitive cheerleader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My dad played football. My dad played baseball. He played all the sports. And so growing up, my brother and I, we both played 3 sports from the time we were like 7 years old. So, you know, but I'm excited. I think I'm gonna try to go live a couple times while I'm down here on our platform and show people what's going on with the GCAC. I'm gonna try to get my commissioner on here for a little interview and see what we got going on. Hey sis, look, I done lost a little weight. My cheekbones are popping again. Got a little cheekbone action here now.
I need to lose mine. Mine is
full. Oh my gosh. But no, I'm so excited. I love the fact that we have this platform. I love the fact that we have a space and a place and a conversation piece for not only us but for others in athletics. And even though we're geared toward women, Black women in athletics, the fact that we have so many men that, you know, even my coworker Kelly, he's our COO. When I tell you this man is everything, like he is like
yeah, you said he was the stuff.
Yeah. So like he knows, like he's like the connector. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You need something done. You need like hey, you know what? We need to look at having this, that, and the third in a specific city. Like next thing you know, he's coming back with a list of people to to contact and connect with, or someone that has already sent a proposal for something, you know.
Yeah.
So it's so working with those types of people that are not just doers, but they're connectors. Yeah. And so I think that this conference is going to new heights and new levels that HBCUs haven't been in before, because we have so many leaders that are innovative and relationship centered. And, you know, like knowledge and passion and all of that will get you great results.
Absolutely.
Right?
Every time.
But the right relationships will have you in places and spaces that people don't even think that you belong in. Right? And so to be in this atmosphere, to be here again after I've been out of athletics for 8 years. Can you believe that? 8
Dang.
years. And so to be back in athletics and be in a
And you're back in
position,
your element, sis.
listen,
You've been so happy these last couple of weeks.
I have been. And it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful, and my parents, you met my parents, my parents
Oh
are
yeah, they're the bomb.
and so to see that they're equally as happy for me, they're very supportive of this and encouraging. I was telling Kelly, I was like the other night, I came home from substitute teaching, and my dad was like, "Go to bed." Like he basically was like, "You're in bed. Don't like we're not bothering you. Go to sleep." Um, but just the encouragement and the preparation and having people that I've been in athletics with before and seeing their excitement for me being back in athletics at this time is because there's so many people that are leaving athletics. And so to be back in athletics at a time like this is just like.
So what is making people leave athletics?
She can start it. So that's a whole podcast right there.
Yeah, Kelly said it. That's a whole podcast.
That's what we need to talk about next week.
Yeah, that's a whole podcast right there.
Okay.
Because it's definitely multi-layered. But I think and I'll tell you this straight up. A lot of it is people thinking that they can do this on their own.
Mm.
And so when you have things like NIL.
Yes.
And you have things like the transfer portal and all this other stuff. People take their experience and they leave and they say, I can set this up on my own. And the truth is you really can't. Right. I mean, you can, but if you don't already have the relationships built within the system, you're not going to do as well. And so I think it's very important, to talk about those things and understand that we're in the landscape of intercollegiate athletics and even youth sports is changing, and it's going to continue to change.
It's definitely evolving.
But the key to it is, and I think this is from, my little pinky in the brain, right? is we have to be so very careful that we're not looking at our student athletes and our coaches strictly from a monetary standpoint, but from an educational standpoint, where we're looking at them and saying, I'm going to teach you how to make NIL work for you. I'm going to teach you how to get this contract, make it work for you so that you can live off of it. Not just get your 5, 10, 15 minutes of fame.
Right.
So like I said, that's a whole separate conversation. That could be like a series on our podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? It could be a whole season.
Yeah,
right?
we have to bring my girl James Setter on too, because she is DNIL
yes,
expert. And
absolutely. Her and my friend oh my gosh, Corinne Koger Plummer is transitioning her platform from she has a law firm and she's focusing on NIL right now, and I think it's a wonderful thing because and I know this, people are, and I said this once before, is like people always question, like, you make everything about race. This country was built on race. Hello. So yeah, a lot of what we discuss is going to be about race because race is what started all of this. And it's not racism. It's not race in a bad way, but it has to do with race. And so we have to be able to pull back the veil, uncover the mess behind the message, or the message behind the mess, and truly begin to understand that all of these things they're connected, they're related, they're intertwined, and we need to start. And I said this on one of our meetings last week. I said, we're doing a lot of stuff. We have a lot going on. And a lot of it is because we weren't given the table. to sit at. And so now we got to build our own. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where we are. That's my smack talking, is like, y'all didn't give us a table, so GCAC, we building our own. You know, we're gonna have a whole furniture store in a second. Y'all keep playing with us. But listen, we just got to our hotel. I'm holding Kelly. I said Carrie. I didn't combine both of y'all names. That's how you know I need to go to bed, right? Because I didn't combine
both of our names.
Kelly and Terri, and then called it Carrie. So I need to go to bed. But listen, we just got to our hotel. I can't wait to share with you. We're gonna have to do a special episode. I think we definitely gonna have to do a special episode. But we just got the hotel. I'm gonna try to go live. If I can get out of director mode for a few moments and go live. Get into host mode, go live on our platform. But I'm holding him hostage in this rental car. So we about to go in and check into this hotel. Say hey, Carrie. Carrie.
See, Terri, whatever y'all doing, you got her all excited. So I appreciate you just for that reason.
All right, sis. Thank you, everybody, for watching us tonight. I'm sorry I missed out, but
no worries.
I'm sorry, because Terri's the bomb. Coach Terri, she gonna make it do what it do, and she had a great show tonight. So thank you, sis, for holding us down. I can't wait to get back into the full swing of things.
Absolutely.
On next Tuesday. So
yes, ma'am. All right, we out.
We out, y'all.